Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my proposal to better our fine city of Santa Barbara. Let me start off with a quick situation that happened to me a couple days ago. So I'm leaving my house and I leave my garage and I leave it open a crack so I can get back into it. And I run to the store and I get back and my garage is wide open. I go in the garage and my bike's gone. And I talk to people all the time, and this is such a common theme in Santa Barbara. I just see crime here as such a big problem. It's literally everywhere. So, to solve this problem of crime, I suggest to you all an increased funding to community development and the police force in order to decrease the crime rate in Santa Barbara. So, what's the current situation in Santa Barbara? How bad is it? So after hearing all these stories of different people with crime, I discovered that Santa Barbara's crime rate is 25% higher than the California average, which makes it 32% higher than the national average, and that is just astounding statistics. I was also shocked that through these numbers, Santa Barbara's theft alone is 12% higher than the national average, like crime, all crime, just theft. These statistics brought me to the fact that Santa Barbara is only safer than 9% of US cities, which is crazy. Here we just have a graph showing the crimes per square mile comparatively of Santa Barbara to California. And Santa Barbara is more than double that of California. And as you can see from the national average here, this dotted line, it's nearly 5 times that of the national average, which is a staggering statistic. So who do we need to talk to about this? We need to talk to this man right here, Das Williams. He is the first district supervisor for the County of Santa Barbara Board of Supervisors, and he's the guy that can get stuff done for this. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the broken window theory by James Q. Wilson. This theory is going to be kind of the backbone for what we're trying to do with community development in the police force. So this theory is a criminology. It's a criminology theory that visible signs of crime, antisocial behavior, and civil disorder create an urban environment that encourages further crime and disorder, including serious crimes. So what he's getting at here is basically like the little things in a community, like a broken window, or like just beat houses, lead to the big things like serious crimes, like homicides, as I'll show later when I'm talking about how this has worked in the past. His theory links disorder and incivility within a community to subsequent occurrences of serious crimes. So once again, just the small things create the big crimes. And the scary thing about this theory is once this process begins of disorder, it leads to crime, and then the disorder causes crime, and crime causes further disorder and crime. So it just creates this vicious cycle of everything stacking up on each other. So that's the theory. Now to apply it for community development, they do a lot for our city, as you can see here. And to apply the theory, I say that we need to clean up and restore our parks. We need to maybe even adopt a color scheme for the city, just to show a sense of unity and community and everybody working together for this common goal of cutting the crime rate. Because when you look at communities, you look at Montecito, and then you look at Santa Barbara. Montecito is like 5 minutes away from Santa Barbara's east side, like the bad part of Santa Barbara. And it's a completely different town, completely different vibe. Even the national or the average crime rate is below national average, not 5 times that of the national average. So like, what's the difference? I would say Montecito people care about their community, and they like care about the appearance of it, so they work hard at making that appearance good, and subsequently through the broken window theory that cuts major crimes down dramatically, really dramatically in that case. Next, for the police force, I just think we need to increase the patrol. and how many officers so that we can get quicker response times. Because using the broken window theory, it makes it clear that the best way to cut down serious crimes is to stop smaller crimes. So we need to rethink how we're going to enforce misdemeanors such as panhandling, public drinking, shoplifting, like minor criminal activity that most people kind of just like sweep under the rug and don't really think about. But we really need to start enforcing those and getting people in trouble for those. So this graph here shows the annual funding from the budget and where it's going, which department it goes to. So here you can see that the police have the most money in the budget, as they should, which is why I'm not going to propose a huge redistribution to the police because they already have the most. But I'm really going to focus on the community development part because I feel like they need a lot more money. As you can see, they haven't had a drastic increase or like even that much money to do what they do like in the past 7 years. So because of that, I think that their budget should be increased from $12.1 million to $20 million. And I think that this money will be used to spark this interest, create some programs maybe of just cleaning up the city and just developing it into like a better society, community. And then for the police force, it's just like a $1.4 million redistribution to the police force because I see this as money to hire a couple more police officers and to restructure the protocol for what they do and maybe some training programs and like how you be a cop, to enforce these misdemeanors more throughout the community because I see a lot of them. Like you see panhandlers everywhere and it's illegal, so I don't get like what they're doing, how that's okay. So some results in New York City in the 90s, there was a huge crime problem, and this crime problem was solved by Chief Bratton, basically by using the broken window theory. So when he was the transit police chief, he just started assigning people to catch turnstile jumpers and then started assigning people to like just crack down on misdemeanors, and then he started arresting people for misdemeanors. And within 2 years, subway crimes of all kinds decreased dramatically, like 50%. And then in '94, he was doing such a good job that he became the police commissioner of New York City. And he introduced this quality of life initiative, he called it, and he cracked down on panhandling, disorderly behavior, prostitution, unsolicited windshield washing, like just the smallest things. And within 2 years, when he resigned, felonies were down 40% in New York, and the homicide rate had been cut in half. And these dramatic changes just cannot go unlooked. So, in conclusion, this broken window theory may have great results in store for my home city of Santa Barbara, and I would love for us to create an initiative of our own for our own city like they did in New York. If we do nothing now, this vicious cycle will keep repeating itself and it'll only get worse from here. Thank you.